down at the packing bench doing today's packing. Looks like I've got 7 smaller items. Some days it's nice to have a group of smalls going out because you're not struggling with those large, oversized packages. Price isn't always as good, but then most of these are little pieces from larger lots, so it's almost like free money. Now, well, you're working for it, but let's just say there's no real buy-in cost on these items. But at the same time, Rose is on the road heading up to a town about 25 minutes away to meet up with someone for a Facebook turnover. We sold a nice old antique, or hopefully when she gets back, I will have sold a nice old antique carpenter's or nautical toolbox. And if the gentleman comes through and he doesn't haggle and he shows up, because with Facebook, that's always the challenge. They set up the meet and then sometimes it's crickets. But I think Rose set the meet up in a Starbucks parking lot, so she'll be able to get a foo-foo coffee, if nothing else. But I'm going to flip the camera around, I'll show you these items, and we'll talk a little bit about them as I pack. And here's the group. This is a Kiki branded charm bracelet. It has some cute little pastel charms on it. That's about a $10 plus shipping. Here's some vintage pins, welcome home hostages. Here's some yellow ribbons. It's a group. I lotted them up. They came out of a whole batch of pins, lapel and hat pins. So again, a $10 group. This one came in with a whole box of action figures. This is Norm the welder. Yeah, so he's a welder. He's a construction worker, but we'll send him out. I actually busted him out separately because just about everything else were soldiers of one type or action figures. So Norm here, he's a welder. He's a little different. Here's a group. I think there's 37 of them in here. When I photographed them, I put them in the sleeves, but I made sure I put a note in that said they'd be pulled from the sleeves and boxed and shipped loose. So they came in from a very large binder collection of different cards, non-sports trading cards, and I busted them up by theme or brand. Checkers, yeah, this is a little side lot that came in with a much larger gaming lot. I like these because they're vintage, they're identifiable, they've got a brand on the side, and a nice crown pattern. Over here, this was a multi-quantity listing. I had a few of these. A super ring, it's a repair flange for your toilet base in case something busts out on the original. Personally bought one, so I guess I only have one problem. Here, another multi-quantity listing. Another set of those jet vice jaws. They've been selling very well. I think half of them are gone already. So we'll go ahead and we'll get these items packed up, get them on their way. Now this is the Welder Norman fake. I wrapped him in some bubble, put a round of corrugated on him, and what I'll do this time I think is I'll put a air pillow in alongside him. That way it fills up the bag, I can put the label on, and it'll just help with keeping Norman from being over compressed. But at this price point, Norman doesn't hardly rate a box. Now the next item getting packed are those vintage checkers. Not very thick, box is 8 inches long. And if you look here, I have an 8-inch eBay box, but it leaves me absolutely no room for any packing or padding. So what I'll do is I'll go with a 9-inch box that'll allow me to put some bubble in it, and I'll probably just leave it at this height because boxes this small start to get unstable when you start shortening the height, but we'll watch the weight and see. I'd hate to lose a step increment of shipping cost just because I didn't take a minute and shorten it. This box came from one of Rose's free sources, so it's not actually costing me anything to put it in a larger box. And it'll travel better. And there you go. You can see the box uncut is just over 8. So that gives me 3.3 ounces to play with for some fill in order to ship it at the 12-ounce rate. We'll nest it in. It's in a layer of bubble. And then I put in some crumple paper at the bottom, set the item, the checkers in on top of that. And now I'll add a filler layer of more crumple on top of the checkers. And it should ship out very nicely at a 12-ounce rate. So here it is. The extra crumple is in. I put a strip of scrap cardboard along the top. That will reinforce that upper seam from being pushed down and if they slice it a little deep with a knife when they open it, they won't catch the product. Now this crumple, this is all that extra crumple that came in when I paid for my first loop cycle box, and half the case I paid for was still crumple paper. So I'm putting that to use sending items back out. While I was packing the other 7, this item sold. This is one item from a large collection of Star Trek that we got months ago. Rose has been working on listing it. The box has a little bit of a smash problem. Obviously, when they were packing the collection away, they put something a little heavy on this one, but it's a dice game. When I first heard the cha-ching and took a look, I thought it was a comic, but it's actually a dice game. And of course, just in time to run out of labels on my printer. So I'll reload the printer, I'll find a box for this, and then I'll be careful to nestle it in because I don't want it to crush any further than it already has. And we disclosed its condition. It's sealed, but has been squeezed. And here we go, including the 8th item that sold while I was packing. Here's the toilet flange. Here's the Star Trek game. Here's that set of checkers. I needed to gain an inch on a box size. Here's the one I put the air pillow on one side, the item on the other. And one of these is the jewelry. The other one are the yellow ribbon pins. And of course, this heavy little beast is the set of jet vice jaw replacement pieces. Okay, I finished the shipping. Rose got back from town. Gentleman had no problem at all with the carpenter's toolbox. He barely looked at it, she said, confirmed that was the one that was in the ad, grabbed it and headed out. You can't hardly get better than that for a Facebook meetup to sell something larger than I like to ship on eBay. Though as carpenter's toolboxes go, that was about the smallest one I had seen in a while. If it hadn't sold, I had options. I could have put it on eBay, local pickup. I could have put it on eBay to ship it. I could have put it in one of our auctions and used it as a loss leader. Though at auction, you never know what price you're going to get. With eBay, you can decide whether to discount from your original price. Same with Facebook. You can be more flexible. And since this one sold on Facebook, there's no fees to us. And that's always a positive thing. If I'd have put it up on eBay, I would have had to put it up at a higher price to start with, just to cover the fees. It hit 73 degrees while I was out here packing. So April is turning out to be a much warmer month than March. This is Brian. Go out and pack something, because this is reselling in retirement.